As this video is being created, the student loan debt crisis in the United States stands at $1.8 trillion and grows every second. Student loan debt is politicized and deeply misunderstood by people in the United States. One reason people misunderstand student debt is because those who don't have it don't need to understand what causes it and why it is a problem. Meanwhile, those who carry student debt understand why and how they have come to possess it. Older generations say it's millennials' fault that they carry so much student loan debt. These older individuals are speaking from their own experiences. They were able to work and finance their higher educations without needing to take out federal or private student loans. But this is not possible for younger generations. Student loans certainly are helpful from the standpoint that they allow individuals who otherwise couldn't afford it finance their higher educations. But student loans can also become a nightmare when it comes to repayment. Indeed, some indebted students have taken their own lives by suicide because their prospects were so bleak. One evening in 2007, Jan Yoder of Normal, Illinois, noticed that her son Jason seemed more despondent than usual. Yoder had been a graduate student in organic chemistry at Illinois State University, but after incurring $100,000 in student loan debt, he struggled to find a job in his field. Later that night, Jason, 35, left the family's mobile home. Concerned about her son's mood, Jan Yoder decided in the early morning hours to go look for him on campus, where a professor she ran into joined her in the search. The two of them discovered his body in one of the labs on campus and called campus police at 8:30 a.m. 32 minutes later, Jason was declared dead due to nitrogen asphyxiation. Student loan debt is good debt. Invest in yourself. Go to school, even if you need to finance it through student loans, because you'll make more when you graduate. Some people who took out loans did graduate and obtain degrees and jobs, but some people who took out loans for one reason or another didn't graduate. They didn't get the job they thought they would and they needed. The only thing these people are holding now is debt. In 2017, I co-edited a book entitled The Neoliberal Agenda and the Student Debt Crisis in U.S. Higher Education. In the book, I explored how the student debt crisis in U.S. higher education was specifically a neoliberal problem. That was a framing that was true at the time and remains true at this historical moment in time. Henry George in Thou Shalt Not Steal, an address delivered on May 8, 1887 to the Anti-Poverty Society in New York, said the following: "Now, here is a desert. Here is a caravan going along over the desert. Here is a gang of robbers. They say, 'Look, there is a rich caravan, let's go and rob it. Kill the men if necessary. Take their goods from them, their camels, the horses, and walk off.' But one of the robbers says, 'Oh no, that is dangerous. Besides, that would be stealing. Let us, instead of doing that, go ahead to where there is a spring, the only spring at which this caravan can get water in this desert. Let us put a wall around it and call it ours. And when they come up, we won't let them have any water until they have given us all the goods they have.' That would be more gentlemanly, more polite, and more respectful. But would it not be theft all the same?" Henry George's words point to a similar problem as it relates to student loan debt. College students are worth more to lenders and to the status quo system if they are allowed to live but in debt bondage. Statements that I mentioned earlier, such as, "Student loan debt is good debt, invest in yourself," or "Go to school, even if you need to finance it through student loans, because you will make more when you graduate," reinforce mainstream understanding. I want to share with you, the viewer of this YouTube video, that my book Student Loan Debt as a Wicked Problem, Moving from Pessimism to Possibility and How to Hope, aims to illustrate the many misunderstandings of the student debt crisis in the United States. In 1973, Riddle and Weber coined the term wicked problem to refer to problems that are difficult to define and inherently unsolvable. They suggested the following 10 characteristics of wicked problems. Number 1, a lack of definitive formulation. Number 2, no stopping rule that determines when a solution has been found. Number 3, good or bad solutions rather than true or false solutions. Number 4, lack of immediate and ultimate tests of solutions. Number 5, solutions are one-shot operations rather than trial and error. Number 6, lack of criteria that indicate all solutions have been identified. Number 7, the uniqueness of every wicked problem. Number 8, Any wicked problem could be viewed as a symptom of another problem. Number 9. Any discrepancies in wicked problem can be explained in multiple ways. And number 10. Planners have no right to be wrong in that they are responsible for outcomes that result from the actions they take. The neoliberal regime of truth is that a college education is worth incurring student loan debt. Human capital is the motif. The financial payoff is seen as a logical reason to go to college and to invest in one's future. Student loan debt as a wicked problem, moving from pessimism to possibility and hell to hope, offers a counter perspective. Student loan debt as a wicked problem places the student debt crisis within a wicked problem framework to help explain why the student debt crisis in U.S. higher education doesn't seem to be getting better despite so-believed valiant attempts to do so. The complexity of higher education financing and policy is immense, and it is no coincidence that real change is just becoming apparent. The chapters in this book point out that while the main culprit for why students continue to graduate with more and more student loan debt is not individual choice, but rather evidence of the neoliberal ecosystem of higher education itself.